Hello there, and welcome to my next video for the City of Final Fantasy Opera Omnia. In this video, we're going to be tackling the Kuja Lost Chapter, taking the God stage. So Kuja has finally arrived to Opera Omnia. I have been waiting for this moment for a very, very long time, in my reckoning at least. Okay, so as you can see, I've got Kuja's. The good news is I've got Kuja's EX weapon. I was being realistic. I was always going to get it. The bad news is that my gacha pulls for this thing was probably the worst pulls since I've started playing this game. No joke. Like, it took me 337 tickets and 50k gems before I saw this thing. I was 25k gems away from pity, for God's sake. I did actually record a pull video for it as well, but it was really early in the morning and I was kind of basically whispering, so you couldn't really hear my voice that well. And I mean, it was 40 minutes of gacha hell. Like, after the first 100 tickets and I'd barely got any golds, I was like, oh boy, this is going to be a rough one. I wasn't originally planning on actually using any gems, like maybe a couple of multiples, because I know that Kuja will get power crept. I suppose by Golbez, although I think he'll actually be still quite competitive against Golbez in some cases, especially in AoE situations. But then definitely by Rinoa. Like, you know, Rinoa is pretty much the bar of DPS coming up soon, and Sephiroth will be pretty good for single target as well. But Rinoa has that longevity, she has that splash damage, she has that ridiculous meteor going on, you know. But just because Rinoa will be better does not mean that Kuja will suddenly be bad, and right now he is unquestionably the best damage dealer, and in fact probably the best character in the game that we've got. Like, you know, he's just on another level, even if it doesn't seem like it at first. Kuja and I actually have quite a history in this game, because I'm actually a day one player of Opera Omnia. But I've not been playing the whole time. I was playing the game kind of casually and kind of just trying it out because I was mostly playing for Grand Order, and I've been playing. I was playing since launch, but I think I made it to the Eiko event because I really wanted Eiko. You know, I'm a big Final Fantasy IX fan. It's my favourite game in the franchise, and I have quite a soft spot for Eiko, to be honest. You know, she's almost unrealistically precocious, and a lot of people find her quite bratty, but I think she's cute. You know. In a way. So yeah, I wanted to at least make it up to her event, but then I realised that armor tokens had only recently been introduced around that time, and like the only way to get armor tokens at that point, as far as I'm aware, was to get them from the co-op shop, and that was back when the co-op score requirements were like the reward system was being driven from score requirements. There was no token shop. And as a result, it was much more important in co-op to play optimally to get high scores in order to clear the event faster. So from what I heard, people were a lot more kind of elitist, you know, unwilling to sort of carry you. I was quite new to the game, and FGO was basically it's single player only, basically. So it's, you know, it's a very personal experience, and I was really reluctant to kind of throw myself into the wolves' den and play co-op because. I knew I was going to learn eventually, but I know it's the same thing with multiplayer games on PC. Like, I am quite competitive, and I do learn quite well, regardless of the game, unless it's an RTS. I suck dick at RTS, but FPS, anything like that, I tend to become quite good if I get enough practice. But it's a mobile game. I didn't want to deal with that in a mobile game. I just didn't. So I was like, if this is all this game is going to be, just like, you know, playing co-op constantly, then I'm not down for that shit. I quit. So I quit, and I just vanished into the mists and left my account where it was. But I still have my account backed up to Facebook, you know, because I'm you can call me a hoarder. I'm not really a hoarder in this game, not compared to some people, but I do know how to save. But I do have a hoarder mentality. I'm like, maybe I'll come back to this game someday, because I knew Sephiroth was going to come out. And I was like, I'm going to come back to this game when Sephiroth releases for sure. And I actually, looking up the event schedules of the JP version and the lost chapters that had yet to release, I kind of worked out roughly when I was expecting Sephiroth to come back, and I actually came back to this game when I thought he was going to come back. just to see what was going on. But it was the tail end of the Kane event, and it was the Kuja early release in global. And I was like, well, you know what? I like Final Fantasy IX. I do like Kuja. In fact, Kuja is probably one of my favourite villains in the franchise, because he's coming off of right. So Kuja, in my opinion, has some of the best character development of any of the villains around his era. You know, this is the late PS1 games, and one of my biggest gripes with Final Fantasy as an RPG series, apart from that a lot of the games are very easy, is that a lot of the villains are very two-dimensional. Now, with someone like Exdeath, that's kind of, it's neither here nor there, because it's like, you know, FF5 was quite a light-hearted game, and Exdeath was, I mean, with a name like Exdeath, that should just tell you everything you need to know, you know? I mean, he was supposed to be ridiculous. But then you've got Kefka, right? And Kefka is insane. But that's his thing. That's why he's evil. It's because he's insane. Because a Magitech infusion went wrong or something. And it's like, that's why he does all these horrible things, and that's why he's kind of, half destroys the world. Because he's insane. And then you've got Sephiroth. Now, I'll be the first one to admit that Sephiroth is fucking badass. You know, like Final Fantasy VII was my first real console RPG, and there's still a giddy like 9-year-old inside me that goes, you know, that goes into fanboy mode whenever Sephiroth comes on the screen. But that's all he is. Like, he's a badass. But what about it? Like, I found his personality shift very unrealistic. In FF7, you know, suddenly he learns that he's the product of an experiment, and so suddenly that means that he has to massacre the planet and go try to join his alien mother and become this all-powerful deity. Like, no, that's a leap in logic, like insane. It doesn't matter like how you were born and who you are. Zidane learned that. You know, I suppose ironically you could say that Kuja has some of the same struggles, but they're done in a much more believable way. You know, it's not like a sudden heel face turn. You know, Kuja has some history, and he has motives, in my opinion, more believable motives behind the things that he does, because, you know, he's a huge narcissist, but he's afraid of death, and honestly, who isn't? So yeah, I quite like Kuja. So I stuck around, and I pulled Kuja's 35 very, very easily, to the point that I don't think I understood exactly how valuable 35s were at that point in the game, and how rare they were, because I also pulled Saz's 35 off of the summer campaign banner, and let me tell you, Kuja and Saz together single-handedly got me back into Opera Omnia. They cleared everything. Like, they cleared EX quests. In fact, I did actually get a full complete on Kuja's EX quest right after I came back. They cleared crystal farming, they cleared trash mobs, they cleared, you know, World of Illusions nodes, they cleared everything. There was nothing that Kuja couldn't help with, because he was like the strongest AoE attacker in the game until Squall got awakened, and it was phenomenal. It was great, and I loved it because you know, I quite like Kuja. So my plan was, like, I kind of owe it to Kuja. Even if he does get power crept, he'll still be good. And because he was so good to me in this game, I absolutely have to get his EX. I've had my eye on it ever since I've seen it in the JP version, like 9 months ago, plus. But yeah, shit happens, and he drained a lot more of my resources than I thought he was going to. But he's still phenomenal. I'm not going to say it was worth it or it wasn't, but we are where we are, and I'm going to have fun using him while I can. In fact, I've recorded a couple of other videos where I've gone back over the Heretic quests, the Theta and the Delta ones, and I actually beat my previous high scores by using Kuja, even without launching, which I thought was kind of crazy. Like, you know, I'm exceeding launch scores without launching. That should tell you all you need to know about his damage. But anyway, before this drags on too long, we might as well get into the thick of it. So I'll just show you my artifacts real quick. I do plan on farming a bit more than these, but since this is a single target boss, we do want all the attack power we can get. See, the thing about Kuja is that his awakening has turned Ultima from a dispersed HP attack into every target gets all of the brave hits. So that means against 2 or more targets he's always going to be capping his max brave twice if you use Ultima Plus, which is insane. That means he can do like 50k damage just casually, every turn that he's got ultimate. Of course, he doesn't have infinite uses of it, but against single target bosses, he does struggle to cap a little bit, so that's why we went with that. I'm bringing Eiko along for this one, because the boss does have holy weakness, and because it just feels thematically appropriate to use an FF9 character. You know, I could use Layle to be honest. In fact, she may be the preferred one to bring, but I don't think Eiko will be that different. And this stage is so bursty that you honestly won't notice much of a difference. Like, it's insanely fast paced. You'll see when we get into it. And then here's my Layle. These artifacts I actually got in the process of going for Bart's artifacts with the iDojo event. So yeah, Layle's looking real strong right there. I did actually buy Kuja's costume, but to be honest, I'm not sure if I like it. I'm not sure how much I like it. I collect all the costumes anyway, and it's like the one way that I pay for gems in this game, so I was going to get it, but I actually kind of prefer his original outfit. But hey, at least I have it right, and I can use it sometimes. So let's get into this. We're definitely going to bring Bahamut Summon, and we're definitely going to bring a Kuja friend. Kuja plus, with Ultima Plus spam in Bahamut is basically like Squall was awakened. It will sweep the screen clear of whatever ails you. Whatever troubles you will just be swept away in the tide of Ultima. It's fantastic. So let's get into the action. Another great thing about Kuja is that he's relatively self-sufficient, and all he needs to really get going is to use his EX weapon, and then he can just start causing chaos to everyone and everything. So I'm going to use Ring Holy here. I'm actually going to bring in my my friend Kuja for my Eiko there. We do actually get the launch on the track, which is kind of funny. But we did waste a lot of turns there. Oh man, I just love that, you know, it's so ridiculous. Definitely want to Ring Holy there, because if you kill the middle one, then the trash mobs will just they'll just evaporate. So we don't need to worry about those. Yeah, you know what? So I'm not sure exactly what kind of turn count we're going to get here. I kind of think that RNG's dicked me over a little bit, but... Okay, then Eiko will come back in. We'll get our buffs up. And then the chaos begins. So as you see, there's not really much to say, to be honest. Like, I'm not saying anything because the stage is just use Kuja and blow shit up. That's basically what this stage is. And just look at that damage. That is, honest to God, ridiculous. don't even care about that EX because ultimately does more damage. Okay, so not as low a turn count as we could have had. That'll be 20 turns. It looks like. So it goes. Okay, let's go and get here. Yeah, 10k off my highest. So I mean that's not too bad. Probably if I'd have had one less break, I could have got that a bit higher. So yeah, that's Kuja's Lost chapter. All 20 turns of it. I think you can go down as low as like 18 or something. I've seen Fires get like 18 turns on it with a bit better. I think he used Layle set and he had a bit better turn order. But yeah, that's that. So as you see, fast and furious. So that's gonna be all from me for now, and I will see you guys in the next video. Until then.